Alright, hello everybody, and welcome to our Retro Games Racing. This is Retro Game Race number 26, Bucky O'Hare. So each month we choose a retro game and we give ourselves 2 weeks to learn it. And then we have a race. Our last winner was BBL BPL. That's a mouthful. He nominated the games Asterisk, Mitsume Gatoru, and Bucky O'Hare. So we elected to race Bucky O'Hare. This is a really hard game, and I guess we are not afraid of a challenge. So BBL couldn't find any room in his schedule to practice for this race, so unfortunately he won't join us. So hopefully he'll be back for next month, and we'll see what our racers can do. Today we have Biddy Kong's Conquest. Biddy Kong's Quest. That's hard to say. And KLM, OllieCAD, and Hey Billy Mays here. And I don't really know where these runners stand in relation to one another in this race because they've been pretty secretive about their PBs. Except for KLM. KLM has a 2607 in this game, and it puts him in 4th place, I believe. So, a little bit about our runners. In the order in which they told me that they were going to join the race. That's how I'll introduce them. Biddy Kong has been with RGR since way back when. I think he was way back in the California Raisin days when he joined us. That was race 5. And it took a little while for him to start racing with us. But I think he's warmed up to racing, and he's been joining us for a while. And I'm very happy that he is part of our group. He has a Retro Games YouTube channel that if it overlaps with RGR, he posts about it in our off-topic channel. So if you want to check that out, give that a go. Next up is KLM. He is a founding member of our group. He is fresh back from AGDQ. He raced Mystical Ninja there. He has a PB in this of 2607, so I think that puts him at our favorite. I haven't heard. I think if anybody had beaten that, they'd be bragging pretty hard. So because that's a good time, and I'm really excited to see what he's going to do here. Next up is OllieCAD. He's relatively new to our group. He's been hanging out and been really excited about our races. I think this is the first time he's actually joined us for a race, so that's really cool. I want to see what he can do. He mostly plays Fire Emblem, so if you're into that, go ahead and give him a follow. And Billy Mays is no stranger here. He's been racing quite a bit. He's won, I think, at least twice. So he always puts up a good show, and he's always hanging out, and I'm really happy to have him as a member of this group. And so joining us on commentary is the Cove. I have the Dagron on screen there, but he unfortunately hasn't been able to make it. So let's welcome the Cove. Cove, can you hear us?
I can. What's up, Vic?
Oh, hello. I brought you in with KLM's audio there, so yeah, that's what we hear in the background. So the Cove is also a founding member of RGR. He was our first and second RGR winner, and so he's come back to join us for commentary with this game. Anything you want to say, Cove?
Yeah, no, I mean, I've been away from RGR for a while, like you said. I won the first 2, and then I went into a commentary role and did commentary for maybe about the next year, and then I haven't been around. I think it's been almost a year and a half since I've done commentary, so I'm happy to be back, and I'm really happy to have Bucky O'Hare be the game that we're doing, because this is such an amazingly hard and also just amazingly fun game.
Yeah, I gave this a go a couple months ago, probably over a year ago. I got as far as beating, I think, one of the planets, and I was just like, I can't do this. So I know this is a very challenging game. That's really all I know about it, though. So we'll see how I can help you on commentary. So let me go check on our racers. It looks like everyone is ready, so I'm going to just get a confirmation that they're ready. Ollie's a yes. Biddy's a yes. Got a yes from Billy. No, just surprise KLM. So does I guess timing starts on the reset screen when game start?
Yeah.
All right. So waiting on KLM to give me a go ahead or a thumbs up on camera or something. Anything. All right. Well, he's sitting there on the intros, so I'll just. Well, I want him looking at the. I want to make sure everybody's looking at this screen for the countdown. So we'll see. He was the last to ready up, but I don't have timestamps, and I really don't want to take him by surprise.
Well, it could just be his handicap for having the best time.
Yeah, that could be the case. Although I don't know. I mean, there could be a.
The best public time.
Yeah, best public time.
Put it that way.
There could be a ringer here. Okay, we got confirmation. Let's go. So I'm gonna start the race here. We should be underway very soon.
All right, we'll be starting very shortly. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, here we go.
It looks like we're off. So, Bucky O'Hare is a platformer kind of in the same vein as like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or like a Simpsons arcade game, where you can kind of switch between the characters as you go along. You start out just with Bucky, who is this green rabbit, and each character has a normal weapon, which Bucky's is just a straight shot. And then you have like a charged power-up. If you hold the shoot button and then release it, something will happen. Bucky's happens to be he'll jump higher. He's got a high jump when you do that. So you're going to see that a little bit in the next level, I believe, where there's a couple platforms you can only get to by doing that charge jump. The beginning level isn't too bad. There's 4 planets that you go to unlock all the characters. And you start off with Green Planet, and this is just a pretty basic platforming section. It's not easy by any means, but it is. There's nothing too tricky about it.
So it looked like Biddy Kong had to take a reset real quick. What happened there? Did you see that?
I didn't see why he did that. There's nothing that I know of that would necessitate that. So there are infinite continues in this game, and there are checkpoints. So even if you would have died at a bad spot, like he could still continue, no problem or anything like that. So I'm not sure why he reset. KLM getting past the waterfall section. That's just a falling section. You just avoid some falling rocks at you, and then this screen is really annoying that KLM's on right now. And same with Billy Mays. It's a bunch of spaceships that shoot at you, and if you take a shot right when you're trying to jump over the platform, you can very easily die. So this is the first boss, and he will throw. It's a pretty simple cycle. He'll throw the big block or boulder at you. You jump over him. You mash as hard as you can. You mash as hard as you can when he gets to the other side, and you want to be able to kill him within 3 cycles for sure, but 2 if you're mashing pretty good.
Are there iframes at all?
No, I mean, if there are, I believe it's faster than I can definitely mash. But I don't know that answer for sure. So KLM is on to the blue planet, aka the ice level, and you're gonna see he is changed to be using Blinky, who is a robot that kind of shoots a shot in an arc where Bucky's goes straight, Blinky's kind of goes down and has like gravity affected. And it's used to be able to break like these ice blocks and things that might not be at like that normal shooting height if you need to shoot one below you. And it'll be used later in a lot of levels when you need to just be able to shoot things that are below you. These snake puzzles are pretty tricky, but once you get the hang of it, they're not too terribly bad. There's one instance where you need to use the Bucky super jump there. And we are now getting to... I'm going to call this an auto-scroller. It really doesn't scroll at all. It's just a static screen where these ships above are going to slowly bomb away the ice platform that Bucky's on. And you need to just sit there and wait until it blows away enough of it, survive long enough, and then it will traverse off-screen to the right. So if we look at some of the other runners, Billy Mays is keeping up with KLM. He's only probably about 10 seconds behind, maybe. Looks like Alakad is just done with the blue planet, or the green planet, excuse me, so he is moving along. And Biddy Kong missed a cycle on these snakes. And so that's one of the difficult parts about that, is if you kind of get behind, you can get stuck in certain situations, like right here, where it makes it almost impossible to proceed. So you've got to really just kind of keep going there. Back on KLM's screen, we went through a descent section, and then for some reason we have some pistons that are going up and down. There's some spikes on the ceiling that you don't want to hit, so it just makes it a little difficult. And yeah, just a couple more screens of this before we get to our next boss.
Now, the order in which you do the planets, do you unlock characters based on what planet you have completed?
I'm gonna go ahead and say yes to that. I only learned the speedrun route, but I'm assuming that you do unlock Blinky when you beat Green, and so on, and that's why you would do it this way. But I don't know that for sure either. This boss that KLM is on, it's a straight mash. You mash and you jump only when you have to avoid the bullets, and then also you see kind of like those spike things below him. They will slowly go up, and you don't want to be stuck in the ground during those, so you want to try to jump when you can to avoid those as well. See, Billy kind of got stuck there on the ground and took a missile from it. But usually, it's if you're a good masher, it's not too bad. If you're not good at mashing, that can be a really tough boss fight. So we've got Biddy Kong is on the end of the auto-scroller part, and Alakad is right behind Biddy. Took a death there, but he was only about a screen below or so. And you notice even when you continue, you still stay at the same screen that you died on, so it's not that bad.
So that's like basically infinite lives, except the game over gives you a little bit of a time delay.
Yep. Yeah. And so it's very forgiving, even though it's really hard. You'll never have to start over or anything. The screen KLM is on. KLM did take a quick death. He did pick up Jenny, who is pretty fast moving, but her like big use is going to be on certain boss fights. Her charge power it creates like a magical energy orb, and that will do tons of damage to the bosses. But you saw KLM took damage. He's down to 4 little life, I don't know what you want to call those, life ticks out of about 30. The reason he's going to do that is there are 2 stage warps in this game. And the first one is coming up on, well, the screen after where KLM was. So after this screen, there will be one. So he's going to have to take a lot of damage somewhere else now, because the way that the wrong warps or boss warps work is you need to take damage that will kill you, and when your body dies, it needs to fall into or onto a moving platform. In this case, it'll be a boulder, and the boulder will need to traverse you to the screen transition before the like the stage screen will show up with how many lives you have left. And if that happens, you will be warped to the boss. And so it does save a good amount of time between this stage and there's one on the next stage in the yellow planet. And getting both of those will save a good amount of time, like I said. Yeah, so Caleb is just kind of, he was just sitting there taking damage from that guy because you need to take a lot of, you need to essentially be down to probably, it might be 1 health. I forget how much damage these frog guys take. But yeah, it looks like it's just going down by 1. So you're going to see him kill both of these guys when it gets to 1. And then he is going to move ahead, jump up above, and hopefully land on a boulder when he does. So we'll see what happens. And there he gets it. That was first try. That was really good. And so like we said, with Jenny, she has this orb that you charge up, and it does tons of damage in the boss's head.
So the warp skips that whole next screen? Is that the idea?
Skips all the way to the boss. And the yellow planet one is going to be even quicker. I think it happens on about the 3rd screen of the level. And so you save a lot more time with that one. Yep, so you're going to see Kalem's going to take a ton of damage intentionally on these first couple screens so he can get down and get ready for the death warp. Let's see how everyone else is doing. Billy Mays is actually caught up a little bit. He is right behind. He was on the same screen briefly with Kalem, so he's chugging along. And it looks like Alakad is at the beginning of the red planet, and Biddy has been doing pretty good too because he's at the screen before the death warp. Yeah, all the runners are keeping up pretty well. They're about 1 level between our first and last place people right now. So right now, yeah, you saw Kalem die. He got right to the screen set transition before the yellow planet like text came up, and so he went right to the boss. And then with Jenny, he's going to attack the top kind of laser, the bottom laser thing, and then the thing above his head. There's 3 different things you need to destroy there, and the boss is gone. So one thing you are not going to really see here is all of the crew, or at least be able to understand here. All of the crew is currently being captured by the Toads, which are the bad guys. And so pretty much Bucky has to go through this ship that they are now being pulled into and free your imprisoned crewmates again. And so you're kind of back. You just got all 4 of your characters, and you're back to like not being able to use anyone with Bucky. Good. Looks like Biddy Kong got the warp as well. The cell levels are kind of annoying. You're gonna see the racers jumping seemingly randomly at times. There are hidden gaps, so like you'll walk over one of those gray blocks and it'll just make you fall down to the lower level. There's no way to tell if they're there. You just have to fall down through them and learn, or just randomly jump and hope you miss. Oh, I did forget to mention this when other runners were going through it. Alakad is on what I like to call the Quickman Laser stage of Bucky O'Hare. You have lava that comes after you very quickly, so you need to keep running and get through this very fast, or else you die. It takes quite a while to learn, but once again, because there are no hard game overs, it's not the worst thing. KLM is on the first boss of the cell, which is what you end up seeing is they're actually your comrades, your friends, but they have been brainwashed or something. And so he beats Jenny, and now he will be able to use Jenny as well. Actually, that may have been the second one, because he's already got Blinky too. So we must have missed one when I was looking at the other guys. Yeah, this arrow part of this stage is a little annoying too. The whole cell stage is a little annoying. It's got like little bits and pieces that are all pretty frustrating. These lasers do a lot of damage. You do not want to get hit by one of those lasers. Looks like Biddy Kong is through the yellow planet, so he will be going to the cell right now. Alacat is having some trouble on that lava screen. It is one of the more difficult screens in the game, so it's definitely not a surprise that somebody is having a lot of trouble there. He almost had it there. He was almost at the end.
I'm just I'm peeking at the players' splits. It looks like both Biddy and KLM are almost exactly 1 minute over their PB pace. So I think that's a pretty good showing in a race situation, given how difficult this game is.
Yeah, I mean, one bad death, like when KLM died preparing for that death warp, that really set him back. And if Biddy Kong reset in the first 20 seconds or 30 seconds or so, I mean, that was losing a lot of time there. So he's actually doing a little better than a split show. The part that KLM's on, you can actually find like a magic pixel towards the middle and just push or like hold up and shoot, and you're golden. Otherwise, I think those spikes are one-hit kills, if I remember correctly. It's been a couple years since I played this game. But yeah, if you get in the right spot, you're golden until this next section. Oh, thank you, Angel. You don't fight Blinky because you're being captured. Awesome.
Got some people protecting the lore out there. That's good to hear.
Well, it's good that they know the lore, because I don't think I ever knew it, and if I did, I have long forgotten it in my old age, so. Yeah, so we can once again say that KLM and Billy Mays are on the same screen, even though this screen takes quite a while to get through. Oh, and Alacat did get through the lava screen, which is really good. He is coming up to the first warp. I'm not sure if he has learned it or not, but he's not grabbing that life, so I'm assuming he probably did. Okay, so this is the last boss of the cell stage. You're gonna get Deadeye the duck back, and once again, you just grab Jenny. You actually you leave the bottom two and stand on the bottom two blocks so that his shots won't hit you. And one quick, easy charge shot, and you are done.
So you learned the planets for a big 20, right?
Yeah, it was for one of the relays, or one of the marathons. I actually don't even remember which one it was. It was probably a big 20 or a big 10, but I don't remember. It wouldn't have been an RGL event because they, like Retrothon or their Nescathlon stuff, they do full games. But it was probably a big 10 maybe, or the big 10. Yeah, so I don't know. I haven't learned the rest of these stages. I played through them casually once, but other than that, I'm going to be flying by the seat of my pants, so bear with me. These little antlion guys is what I'm going to call them. They look really scary, but they're pretty easy to get through. A lot of... You might see KLM avoiding to take damage during these parts, but a lot of times if you have the health, it's a lot faster to just take damage through this. You can see though, he lost almost his entire health bar there, but there's some life there. So yeah, so as long as you can get through that screen, you're in pretty decent shape. So if you get slugged, you actually have to run back and jump on the spikes to kill the slugs. And this can be an annoying part, as you can see. It's the second time KLM's had to go back there. We got Biddy getting to about the halfway point of that scroller. It looks like Alakad did not get the warp, so he's playing out the rest of Red Planet. And so what you end up missing is there is kind of this whole auto scroller with the boss. Like that green thing is the boss that you fight after this. But if you do the warp, you can just kind of ignore it. KLM is now swimming through some stuff. We're gonna call it red water, but definitely doesn't look that appetizing. He got a little too low there, so he died. I mean, you can see like there's so many deaths in this game. This game is really, really difficult. And for these guys to learn it on 2 weeks and come out here and race it, I give them all a lot of props. And I think KLM, was practicing for that same Big Ten, and so he had already learned at least up through the cell stage as well. I don't know if he ever learned the entire game before this though, but he was definitely not going into it blind. Once again, another boss that used Jenny's charge shot to kill. You may be noticing a theme by now.
So
And-
do the different bosses have different damage tables based on what character you're using, or is it just like Jenny's is always gonna do 4 HP or something?
I mean, it's not so much around how much damage each shot does. It's just that because there seemed to be a lack of iframes, because her weapon is always in the hitbox, it just constantly does damage. And so regardless, it can just do damage the fastest.
Okay.
And you can see, I didn't talk about Deadeye's charge, but his charge ability, as you can see, kind of is he can climb on walls for a little bit and hop off walls. So you've seen our racers doing that a little bit through this. And here, you see these up and down arrows. There are like gravity pulls that will either move you up or down slowly. There wasn't any sort of hovering they were doing. That was actually just part of the environment that was doing that. And this is actually one of the downsides if you only practice, like I'm looking at Alakad's screen. Ooh, you just got past it. So if you don't get the warps and you have practiced for the warps, oftentimes the part you skip is the part that you'll end up having a lot of trouble with because you're not used to having to go do that part. But he got through that fine, so he is on to the yellow planet. I do think this was a very well-designed game, though. Outside of maybe abusing Jenny for a lot of the bosses, they do a good job of you needing to... I mean, there are some parts like this where you need to use Deadeye, but there are other parts where it's just faster or more optimal to use a certain character. This part is super annoying. It's a maze where the inside part keeps rotating every couple seconds, and then you need to go through the correct side. Which, I mean, is essentially always right, but there may have been one that wasn't right, but I think all the other ones were.
I work hard for the money, so hard for the money.
It's like KLM got a subscriber.
Notifications are not off.
Congratulations
so
to KLM.
these are parts of the game. No, I'm kidding. There's no overseas.
That emote explosion was pretty good graphics.
Yeah. A lot of sprites on the screen for an NES game. Oof. So Alakad is doing something that is very difficult. If you get to this screen and do not get the death warp, trying to get yourself down on health is nearly impossible. Like if he can pull this off, I will be very, very impressed. It's very difficult to do if you don't get it the first time. Because normally you go through the previous screens, getting yourself down to 1 health, and then it's easy. But I mean, he's almost there. Oh, but he got on a slow one. It's not gonna do it.
You gonna go for it again? You think he's just afraid of the next screen?
No, you really want this. There's a roller coaster, like a minecart section, I guess is more like it, and it is super annoying. As someone who I missed this skip in one of the runs that I ever did, and I proceeded to having to go through that minecart section, and it put me on tilt pretty bad. I'm not gonna lie. So I don't blame Alakad for going for this over and over and over again. I would too, especially when there's no really trouble in gaming over. But you want to hit that second ship that's just cruising along.
So this is, I guess, a bit of a disadvantage that you get infinite continues that starts you at the beginning of the act and not in the beginning of the stage. Because if it started at the beginning of the stage after your game over, you'd have you wouldn't have to take all this damage here.
Yep, that is correct. I would say it's one of the very few times that it's actually detrimental. And yeah, so we should mention KLM is on the last stage. It is a very, very long auto-scroller with a mini-boss, like a snake mini-boss in the middle, and then a big boss at the end. I do love how these guys hang on to the ship. And Willie, that guy's name is Willie, I don't think I've introduced him yet. He ends up just dragging him down to the spikes and killing him. Brutal. Come on, Alakad, let's get this. Yeah, so this KLM is going and breaking through all of these glass things, then running through before the green Mario pipes and smashing. It does look like KLM definitely opened up a lead on that second to last stage in the center of the Magma Tanker, because Billy was right behind him, and now he's quite a bit behind him. So KLM is at like this halfway mini boss, the snake mini boss, which is a really weird mini boss. You essentially just keep shooting the tops and bottoms until they blow apart, and then you gotta shoot the snake a little bit. And now the snake head is just rotating and shooting in random directions. Eventually he'll die. Now we're on to the last section of the escape before we get the big ship or tank. I'm not entirely certain what it is, but you'll see it in a second. Oh my gosh, Alakad was, I kid you not, a couple inches away on his television from getting that. Alright, so we go, we're firing at all these cannons they're shooting. You don't need to kill all of the cannons, but there seems to be some sort of shared health mechanism between them and the other parts of the ship, or the tank, whatever it is. And there is a way to do the quick kill. I do not know the specifics of it. some people seem to have, in the discussions since they've been practicing, they seem to think that it was a little bit RNG related. I'm sure it's probably not RNG related. It's just that it's really probably convoluted in how to actually get it done. And so now KLM is finishing up with the last boss, where needs to avoid this lava coming up or energy coming up from behind him. I think that guy was named like the air marshal or something, if I remember right. But KLM is done. GG KLM. Looks like it was a 28:39, which is about 2.5 minutes from his PB. I think he's just above the 26. You said
2:32.
Oh, but I mean, 28 sub 30 in a race of this game when you only have a couple weeks to practice is pretty insane.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
big GG to KLM.
I really wanted to join this when I was traveling. Seeing that time, I'm like, okay, glad I didn't waste all that time. Nah, I'm kidding. I would have loved to race this.
Yeah, I mean, Billy gave him a pretty good run for his money, and I didn't explain this boss that Biddy Kong is on that much, but there's a lot of moving parts, and essentially you just want to be able to kill off kind of that top and bottom purple thing, blow it open, kill it, and then you need to almost Mother Brain style kill that middle section.
I'm gonna go ahead and apologize. I think I had like an audio pickup where I had like everybody's stream audio on. Hopefully.
Oh, I actually don't know. I watch these without any sound on, just because it kind of stinks because I can't listen to the music, because Bucky has a couple really good stages for the music, but I find it makes it a lot harder to commentate, especially when you're trying to talk about someone else's screen when
Right,
you're
I
hearing
was
somebody
just
else.
hoping that chat would have been like, what's going on with the sound? So I apologize if the sound was too soft. I'm gonna go ahead and switch to Silicon Quest here. His audio. So
Yeah, this is good.
those guys only die to spikes on Biddy Kong's screen. Like they hang on to his little like.
Yeah, I mean that's the only way I know. I found out to kill him on my playthrough, but
I mean, do you have to kill them? Do they slow you down at all?
I don't remember. I imagine you do want to kill him if they keep pulling on you. I think they pull you down.
They probably also make your cross section really big so you can't get through gaps. If that makes sense. I'm definitely gonna give this game a go.
Yeah, this game is really fun, and if you're a masochist, there is a hard mode. So I think in the password, if you put in all caps hard with maybe an exclamation point at the end, it will start you on hard mode, which originally in the Japanese version was like a copyright thing, where if you had a hacked version of the game or something, it would actually just default you to hard mode. It was like the devs were like, we're gonna make it so you can't beat this. What hard mode is you can't take a shot. It's one hit death. And it's the same continue rules, so you can always continue and keep playing. But it makes it so difficult if you literally, like some of those screens where you just have like projectiles everywhere and it's almost impossible to miss. Like it's definitely not recommended unless you can handle the normal one pretty well.
So is this on the Famicom Disk System? Because I would imagine a cartridge would be kind of hard to.
a good question. I was mainly talking about the NA version, or the NA version has the password. I don't know how they did the detection with the Japanese version. So we do see Biddy Kong finishing out. During my story, Billy Mays also finished with the 32.45, so GG Billy. Billy was right up there with KLM for most of the game until that second to last level. So I did a quick Google search, Vic, and it says, as with most games Konami published since 1990, the Japanese version of the game features a simple copy protection routine. It performs a checksum on the Konami 1991 copyright string used on the title screen, as well as part of the checksum routine itself. If either one has been tampered with, the game is forced into hard mode, in which a single hit will kill you regardless of your health. For some reasons, the US and European versions don't have this check, but you can use the password capital H, capital A, capital R, capital D, exclamation point, and prepare for a frustrating time.
Says either actually on Caleb's screen without the sound, you can see him think about what game he's going to pick for next one.
It's like, how should I torture everyone? No, I think BBL did a really good job. I think he picked 3 games that were all pretty fun. Or at least 2. One of them I hadn't played, but the other 2.
Yeah, Asterisk was on my short list to nominate when I won.
Yeah, that I haven't played that game, but the other 2 are fantastic games.
Just goes to show we have a lot of titles to explore in this community.
Ooh, there you saw Alacat almost dropped in one of those blocks that go missing or drop away, which is really frustrating when that happens, so it's good that it didn't. So, looks like Biddy is taking a safer route with Air Marshal Toad. He's only using Willy, which you saw KLM and I think Billy were both switching back and forth to Bucky, who has a back shot as well to kill him a little quicker. But Biddy, you have to get a little closer to the lava sometimes there, and so I think Biddy was just wanting to take it nice and easy. But Biddy is also through, just getting under that sub 36 with a 35.58. Yeah, and it does look like that was a PB for him by almost 2 minutes. Now we're on to Alacat, who is in the cell stages, in the pretty annoying Yoku block section, along with the moving arrow block. And so this is a really annoying mixture of kind of mechanics here. Sorry, there are pink and orange regular blocks. Davey, KLM got a high 28 or mid 28. Billy got a 32.45, and my gosh, Biddy Kong got a 35.58. So they were within about 7 or so minutes of each other. I'm gonna go and take Biddy's splits for that one to show that he did get that sub 36. regardless of what SRL, official SRL race bot time says. Oh, yep. Yep, very true. Yeah, so hopefully we won't see any deaths on this screen for Olacat. It is a really, really painful screen to redo. So that the part in the screen right now on Vidicon, that is what happens if you miss the warp on the yellow planet. That kind of green track with that yellow minecart thing. It is really annoying. Nice. I do think it's silly though. So Dagron, who was going to do some commentary with me, but something came up, himself and Callum both destroyed this game. I think Dagron's time is like a mid 24 and Callum's is like a 23-20 or something. Their times are just absurd in this game. And unfortunately, it does look like Olacat did take a death there, so we're gonna redo this slow auto scroller. He'll get through it though. We have faith. Yeah, I mean, what can you say, Billy? KLM is a very talented runner, so I would be shocked if he didn't get good quickly. But yeah, I mean, he did put. I'm assuming he put in a good amount of time, and he got good quick. So good for him. Yeah, I had mentioned during the run, KLM, that I thought you had also learned through the cell levels for Big 10 or Big 20. I always forget which one it was in, but yeah, I thought you had learned it for that too.
So I apologize. I believe I wasn't broadcasting my mic for the last since I switched to the heads-up mode, and so it might have sounded like KLM was, or sorry, Nico was talking to himself there.
Oh, I talk to myself all the time. I doubt they notice anything weird. Yeah, it was like a year and a half ago, Caleb.
So we went to the two-player view. I forgot to add in my mic score. So I was saying that Biddy's dog ran under his controller at the very beginning, and he lost 25 seconds of his run at least. So his real-time attack is a better time than what his time shows there.
I still think that's really funny that was what happened.
Of course.
I mean, I feel bad for him. I wish that hadn't have happened, but it's kind of humorous.
It seems it didn't make or break his placing. But they had a third place time regardless, I believe.
Yeah.
Olicad's audio. Quiet, I'm sorry.
This is so
It
bad.
seems I can't make it bigger.
Oh man.
And we have him on mic, so we get his
Sure,
own
like
commentary.
everyone is done by now, and they're just like, "What is he doing?"
Hope he knows not to swear.
Yeah, I'm not sure, Billy Mays.
Right.
I will personally not be doing it. I might end up commentating it again. But for those of you who are interested, I think the list is next Saturday at the same time that this race started for the next Big 20. But I always love the game list. I wish I had the time to prep for it, but
Oh my god.
unfortunately I don't anymore in my life, and so I will try to know enough about the games to hopefully offer some good commentary. But outside of that, I think these types of marathons for me will be done. I know I just don't have enough time to even learn the games, much less get good at them anymore.
Yeah. Well, join our Discord if
Please?
you're interested in this
Okay.
format because
Please don't have
just
to
follow
deal with
us
the
there.
screen
It's
again.
pretty quiet up
It's a
except
relief.
until right before a race. So we do a reveal like on a Thursday where KLM
Yeah,
is
that was
going
a
to
wrong
announce 3
decision.
games that he wants us to vote on. The votes will come in and we'll announce a winner the following Saturday. And then we have 2 weeks to race, or 2 weeks to prepare for the race that will come 2 Sundays
Nice.
from then. That's the normal schedule. We're pretty informal, so sometimes those, we don't have like set times to do everything. The reveal will happen whenever KLM
Feels safe
and
anymore.
maybe a host get together and decide. When
Too
to do it.
fast, yeah, because that can happen in this game. Sometimes you just go too fast, and
Yeah, and with KLM being one
Yes,
of the people that would usually host, he may even just do it himself.
Exactly. And I mean,
I am going to, since we were talking about Best in NES with the Big 20, I am going to rep RGL really quick too. So RGL are Retro Gaming Live TV.
that happened.
They are having their Retrothon submissions, which is kind of their version of like a GDQ or things like that. And so if you do want to potentially run for a sweet organization for a really, really fun week of awesome games, go check out RGL Retrothon submissions. I think open
Oh, wow.
maybe even today. I can't remember.
This is so annoying when it does happen.
But it's just another opportunity to kind of, if you're looking to run at a GDQ or some other event in person, getting some of those online experiences are really good ways to kind of help you grow into potentially being accepted for a GDQ run.
I was going to try to plug them, but I can't find exactly what their Twitch name is. I thought it was just RGO, but crazy.
Ay, ay, ay. This is rough. Dorem is throwing
I also
some-
realized I think I was
Nice.
telling you what the
Yes.
Twitch channel was without
Fine
actually
job.
having my press to talk button down. It's Retro Gaming Live, all spelled out, and then TV at the end of it.
Okay, yeah. Bleh.
There we go. I had Retro Games Live.
Everyone's finished now. They're just like, what is he doing? Why is he so bad? Oh man. Hey, if any of the racers are
Yeah,
watching
just for
right
the
now,
record, we
I'm
are
sorry.
unaffiliated with that group.
Cause
We
this
do
Yes,
support
we are
them.
not affiliated,
Yes, it
but
is.
well, I mean,
It's
I'm
tight.
affiliated with it, but RGR is not affiliated
I
with
think
it.
I just practiced this game wrongly for races.
We're certainly on friendly terms. We do
Unlike
that
with Katam, like I didn't do any no resets attempts, so I didn't learn any backups. I think that's what really killed me here. Because now that things don't go as planned, I just
Oh, we're
Okay, so I guess in a way we are affiliated with them, seeing as we are on their Twitch team.
that's my bad moment here. I should probably just learn games better. Well, maybe play an emulator
Never
doesn't
heard
help either,
Alec
but I'm
talk.
sure, like even without
Got a
lag,
nice
I'd still
voice.
struggle here for
Soothing.
sure. It doesn't
It's
help.
not very loud though. I think it sounds.
This feels like live.
setting.
God damn it. Good one. Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna call it quits, honestly.
Yeah, and like RGL does tons of like race events. I think I'm going to be commentating their Discathlon 3, which is a 10-game marathon of all Disney games on February 8th. There's a week-long fundraiser they do for RG Love, which is just a bunch of games they love playing for a week. There's the Tiny 10 remix, which is like a Game Boy Big 10. Retrothon is their big kind of speedrunning marathon. They host a couple in-person events called NLSS, where there's usually one in the spring, one in the fall in New Jersey. There's just tons of really fun events over there.
Yeah, it's
So
fine.
Alika has
Yeah, I
called it
figure. I
quits.
did beat this game casually,
so
so I
Ah.
don't feel bad for
You don't want to see
not
it,
finishing
but
this one because like it's
he's
not
getting
even a speed
frustrated.
run
I
at
don't
this
want him to
point.
drag on,
It's
just feel
just
bad about it. So,
struggle, and it's.
I'm really glad that he gave it a try.
I might practice
And
this game
we
later, like
super
actually
much,
give
we,
it a
we
fair
super duper
shot.
encourage
But
that style where like I
yeah,
will
that
give
was
this a
not
go. I
it.
want to see what I can do with the other racers.
This game, did I ever tell you
We're
that this
very
game is
friendly
really
to
tough?
beginners,
Because it
and
really is.
we just want to see what people can do with it.
Pain
So
and
I hope
suffering.
that
It's a great
that
game,
encourages other people to
but
join in our races in the future.
yeah.
'Cause, you know,
Actually, a really good example of that, Vic, was way back when, towards the beginning of RGR, BBL started doing races with us, and he had similar performances where some of them he didn't finish, some of them he was definitely bringing up the rear, but like he has kept at it. He's practiced over a year and a half, and now like I mean he won last month, so.
yeah, exactly. You just
Yeah, I
get
think I'm
better.
just gonna
It's
end this stream
awesome
right now.
when people
If I stream again, it's
really work
probably
on their
gonna be
games. And I mean, we've had other
Kirby and the
people
Amazing
like I
Mirror
said with Biddy
related.
Kong. I found
So
him active in Discord
that
way back since like race
yeah,
5,
it is a
but
good
I
game.
haven't found that
I
he's raced many
I'm sorry,
times
it's a
except for in the
good
past
genre. You
couple
should
months. I
play
might be
this
wrong
one,
on
but
that, but just takes some
I
people
was
time
not
to get
ready to
warmed up.
speedrun it yet.
But
I did
we
not do
appreciate
enough
that. We
practice,
appreciate
and
it when you do decide
it
to
just showed.
participate. So,
Yeah, I'll just do it eventually.
um,
It's okay. Pray for
Yeah, I
listening
guess just
Like
to
I
end it. I
actually
know
did
Dagron
get
wasn't here,
for the
but you've
tournament.
seen
I'll
his
probably
link a
listen
couple
again,
times in
just
chat. Dagron is a
so I
friend
can get a better
of
time in.
RGR, and he's helped us
Play
commentate
some
many
more
times.
games.
He's a
easy. I
really,
was
really good gamer. So go give him
And then, oh shoot,
uh,
then there's the big
go give
tournament.
him a follow. Yeah,
That,
I took the world record for Metal Storm from
yeah,
him, and he came back and
there's gonna
took
be
it
a
in
new
like 2
list of
days.
big
It was
tournament in
frustrating,
March, and
but it was
it's gonna be
a fun
revealed.
little rivalry between the
When is
two
it
of
gonna be
us.
revealed? I think it's gonna be
Um,
next week.
so he's a really good guy, and also congrats
This
again to
Saturday,
KLM. Also
there's
congrats
gonna be
to
the next big
Billy
tournament
Mays, Biddy Kong,
series.
and
That's gonna be really
Alakad. I
fun.
mean, it was really fun
It's literally
commentating. I
just
hope, even though I didn't know
this
the
game
back
is
half of the game, I
on the
hope the
upcoming
commentary
month.
was passable
So
this time.
yeah,
It was good to
great. It will be fun.
finally be
And
back. I've missed RGR.
I will
Yeah, good. I mean, you're welcome
gladly
back anytime to
participate
commentate.
again
I like hearing your
because
input
much
on
fun.
games. So glad you showed up
So
today
yeah,
because I would have been lost without Dagron.
Yeah, I mean the game is pretty
just
fun to watch
involved
and listen to, but
eventually,
yeah, having somebody at least be able to talk
for
a
a
little bit
while,
about it
unless
is
it's in the Big
probably
20,
more
who
beneficial.
knows?
Thank you
I'd be
everybody
happy
for coming
because
and joining
I
us,
will.
cheering the runners on, and really appreciate all the participation I've been seeing lately. So hope to see you in February for KLM's big reveal. So